supporting the Mahawi and enjoy the show.
Truly, to BIF's 2022 Tribute Evening, honoring the incredible Alfre Woodard. How much fun it's been to have you and Roderick here for the last 5 days. It's just been incredible seeing you going in and out of films and asking great questions, and it's been just truly an honor. I want to say a big thank you to our founding board member, Ronald Frone, and GWFF USA for sponsoring this evening's event, which they do every year generously. So thank you. We are so excited and so incredibly proud to honor Alfre at our sweet 16th anniversary. As one of the most versatile actors of her generation, and named by the New York Times as one of the greatest actors of the 21st century. Alfre Woodard has won or been nominated for nearly every single award in the entertainment industry has to bestow, including a record 17 Emmy nominations. Amazing. A veteran of film, theater, television, and spoken word, Woodard powerfully illuminates each role she inhabits, whether she is the star as Willie Mandela or Eunice Evers in Miss Evers' Boys, or Bernadine Williams in Clemency, or as a supporting actress like Steel Magnolias, True Blood, or Passion Fish, or part of an ensemble like 12 Years a Slave, Empire, or How to Make an American Quilt. Her work as an actor is not simply to entertain, but to inform, to make us walk a mile in another's shoes, to let us feel the long and unknown road where, at the end of our trip, compassion exists. In addition to her outstanding career in front of the camera, Alfre Woodard is a tireless social activist, lending her support to the fight for LGBTQ rights and a founder of Artists for New South Africa. She is a board member of the Democratic Party and a great-granddaughter of Alex Woodard, who climbed from enslavement to landowner. Woodard carries his message that one's own personal agency, despite insurmountable odds, can help change the course of history to make a better America. With her passion, with her courage, with the nuance and force she brings to each role and each facet of her activist life, Alfre Woodard is in fact making the world a better place. The Berkshire International Film Festival is so very, very proud to honor her. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce my friend, producer, industry icon, and past president of the Academy, Sid Ganis.
Hey, Kelly.
Hi.
Your little baby, huh? Your little sweet 16 baby. Bigger and better than ever. And we congratulate you, all of us here. Congratulations. And congratulations to Biff, to everybody who makes this happen. And lucky me, Kelly asked me to say a few words about the amazing Alfre Woodard, the extraordinary actress Alfre Woodard, and I'm very happy to do that. But I definitely won't start with her iconic status. Kelly has already told you that the New York Times did call her one of the 25 greatest actresses of the 21st century. That's pretty amazing, and that's in iconic territory if there ever is such a thing. But I'm not going to talk about it because, you know, most of you already know that, and as the evening unfolds, you're going to see exactly why she is that great actor that she is. She's not only the multi-award winning actor that Kelly mentioned, you know, the Emmys and the Golden Globes and the Image Awards and the Oscar nominations, all of that is so. But she's also a risk taker, and she's also an innovator, and she's also an activist, and maybe even more importantly, she's a mentor, and maybe even more importantly than that, she's a wife and a mother. And as Kelly mentioned, her husband of nearly 40 years, the writer Roderick Spencer, is here with us tonight. By the way, this is absolutely true. I heard the other day that Alfre and Roderick had one of their very first dates, or maybe their first date, just down the road in Lee, you know, many, many years ago. I first became aware of Alfre's activism when she and my wife Nancy were members of the Hollywood Women's Political Committee back in the 1980s and 90s. And when in 1989, Alfre founded Artists for a New South Africa to help combat AIDS, the AIDS epidemic, and bring health care and comfort to thousands of AIDS orphans. That was 1989. To this day, she continues to use her voice to bring attention to a vast range of issues and causes, all of them eminently important. And in 2009, it was my pleasure to travel with Alfre to Iran with a small group of producers, directors, and actors at the invitation of Iran's movie group called the House of Cinema. Iran has produced a group of very talented filmmakers, all of whom are under threat today. You know, no matter what we know or think we know about Iran, Iran is a beautiful country with many artists and writers and poets and filmmakers living and working and trying to work in Iran, and all of them are in a certain jeopardy. And artists are often the canaries in the coal mine who seek to bring attention to important issues of the day. To be an artist is to have the courage for rebirth and growth with each project and each idea. It's never over. Alfre is the absolute manifestation of all of that and more. I'm so pleased to call her my friend and my colleague. And if you want to see how talented Alfre is, have a look at this.
Wow.
This is it.
What's your name?
Chantel has got no time for French-talking Louisiana cowboys. A man,
You ain't gonna fix it chopping wood.
well, there. That don't exactly make us even, but it's something. Don't say you don't remember me. This is my grandbaby, Tisha. Let me introduce you to my daughter, Birdie. My mama told me to wait to have kids, and I did, but I should have kept on waiting. Who the hell are you? Anel. That's it? Like Beyonce?
Very sexy, mamacita.
Don't call me Mama, Blair Underwood. No! Don't plug him in! Mama, when are we gonna get a real treat? When they're free. Just want to make sure that you girls know you gotta be in charge of your own money and your own orgasms. You think you're funny? I am funny. No, you're not.
Most death row inmates have a little desperation going.
I'm not afraid of getting cancer, financial security, problems in the Middle East. None of that gets to me. I want to be dead in a week. There's a calm that comes.
I hired you and I want you to do what I tell you!
PRIMAL girl!
Who made you the fucking warden?
Who made you free of the whole damn world? You're making a mockery of my courtroom and I am not going to allow it. I suggest you start representing your client and stop representing yourself. My boy was hungry. And if I didn't get a job, he wasn't gonna eat. Are you saying I killed my boy? Are you saying I killed him? I killed my baby! I ain't felt the end of a lash in more years I can't recall. I ain't worked a field neither. Well, once I served, now I have others serving me. This is nice.
Do you ever feel like you're just this far from being completely hysterical 24 hours a day?
Half the people I know feel that way. The lucky ones feel that way. The rest of the people are hysterical 24 hours a day.
How do you keep doing it?
You want to play this good guys and bad guys. And I'm one of the bad guys. You can't save the world.
The anesthesia can lower his one's blood pressure and cause further brain damage.
Jack, we don't have a lot of options.
Right now, where would you like to go? Cancun, Rio?
I want to go somewhere with great beaches.
Havana during the 50s.
Exactly.
See, I'm easy to please.
I don't care who you're with. Get me the hell out of here. Now!
That isn't going to be easy.
Well, you better find a way to make it easy, soldier, or I'm gonna start pushing buttons.
All right.
I promise.
Pretty words. From a pretty man.
But because they were black, nobody cared. Because they were black, you, the U.S. government, thought they were expendable. Now you're trying to push the blame off on me.
I believe you were persecuted by officials of the Afghan government. But the law of asylum does not recognize women as a protected class. And as a woman, I applaud you. As a judge, I must rule against you.
I understand, Lonesome. But you a woman, and you live by yourself and don't nobody take advantage of you. That's something I learned out for you.
I'm on a different road is all.
Ain't no road we can't take together, woman.
Just feels good. Little peace of mind, not a cloud in the sky. Just feels good. Even the sunshine's feeling my vibe. I got some glasses on my happy face. I feel 100% up in this place.
Now look.
Oh, you look good, girl. Get a makeover or something?
Or something.
Just feels good.
And it is my great honor to welcome Alfre Woodard to the stage for her 2022 tribute. So I'd like you to join us now. Joe Donahue from WAMC is here to have a conversation with Alfre.
How are you, everybody? How are you? How do I do this? Oh, I know, it's nice, isn't it? Looks so much better on you. I mean, I look like I'm making sausage, but you look amazing.
Your socks, come on.
How are you?
I'm great.
You're beaming, and you should be. Congratulations.
I beam when I
Oh, hi everybody. I have to say, you think of what is going to be the first thing you're going to say, and just as I was walking out, and Kelly said, Alfre's going to be in conversation with Joe Donahue, and someone right over here said, oh boy. So that's what I'm leading with. Good morning. How are you? Congratulations.
I'm good. I have a special request.
Absolutely.
Can we bring the house lights up just
Oh, that'd be lovely. Wouldn't that be lovely? There you go. There you go. Okay. What is it like to be... I can't imagine of seeing your work on stage like that and it'd be boiled down into a few minutes, and then to receive an award, and when you're still so active and have so many projects working, of what that's like.
Okay, so I'm overwhelmed for several reasons. Just because I get very excited, and everybody's excited, so I'm feeling your excitement, and that's joy, and life is good. It's complex, it's complicated, and it's hard sometimes, but in the end, it is always good. I mean, in the end of each moment, it's still good. So I'm just feeling that. I said to Kelly, it's like, everybody looking at your middle school yearbook, but it's a filmography. So it tickles me sometimes looking at it, but it makes me happily emotional because I remember the process and the people on each shoot. It's not so much, you do what you can, you hope it turns out well, that's how we work, but as you work, you stay honest and you deliver every moment. If you feel you're not delivering in a moment, you sabotage that moment so they don't keep it, and we actors know how to do that. But once we do it, that belongs to you guys. So the real experience of being an actor is making family with each group that you meet, and you have to go into automatic trust. So I just remember from the beginning, everybody, not just the actors, but the crew. I remember everybody.
That's beautiful, because I don't know that every actor would say that they remember every crew member, that it's that much of a family. Why is that so important to you, in the sense of, because in reading about you and preparing for this, what I found to be the coolest badass thing that you talk about is you never really refer to yourself as an actor, you refer to yourself as a storyteller. So those people that you're working with are all involved in that storytelling process.
Yes. I don't refer to myself as an actress.
As an actress.
I refer to myself as an actor. And ever since I was at BU when I first went into training in Boston, they always called us actors. So you just said you were an actor. And then after I got to Hollywood, which doesn't really exist, it's not, it's an idea. But once I got there...
How many hearts just broke in this room, but okay.
Once I got there, I realized, and no harm to them, they're great, But, and I have on false eyelashes tonight because Tatiana, a makeup artist, thought you wouldn't see my eyes if I didn't have on false eyelashes. But I kind of felt like actresses pay more attention to their eyelashes and their cellulite, and actors don't. But anyway, so,
Well, I love that.
but, wait, this was about something before I started talking about actors.
You're a storyteller.
Yes, because ever since we stood up on two legs around a fire, around, mankind, there have been, everybody in the tribe had different callings, different talents that way, and the griots kept the lore. And the lore was a story of the people of the tribe, and they sort of acted out things. They weren't quite priests and priestesses, but they held that mirror up and they told a story. And there are all different kinds of stories for each tribe, but it's always been about the health and continuing and to not shying away from who you are. That was the job that were the storytellers, and now we have all kinds of fanfare around it. There's technology and all kinds of, I'm not going to swear today, but all kinds of what.
Yeah, sure.
But at its heart, that's what we're still doing with all the trappings, with all the things that would divert us from that. We're still storytellers. We're still holding that mirror up. And it's on a set, on a crew, say that either the writer or the director is sort of leading the story, and we're all parts of speech and sentence structure that help to tell that story, but we have to tell it as one organism. And so that's how you remember. If you think of what you're doing is telling the people stories, then and everybody that's come there to do that. And first of all, you're putting yourself out there, and it takes a lot of, sometimes it's like walking a tightrope. It is dangerous for some people emotionally, and for everybody that's footing the bill, it's dangerous because it's money. You can't screw that up. So everybody is like on the spot together. But, when you're all at sea, in a boat, you can't say, oh my God, Becky's, she's weak. She's not going to be able to help us row ashore. But you got to bring out the best in Becky as well, because that's part of you getting to shore. And there's a reason that she's with you and you're with her. You're supposed to be learning something from her. So it's constantly having a human experience that you're hopefully changed by.
And, well, two questions that come from that. First of all, is there ever a point where you say, hey, Becky, let's go for a walk?
No. You know what happens?
Say, hey, Becky, let's talk a little bit.
No, you don't talk. Acting is action. So that means that whenever I'm around Becky, bless her heart, now we've named her Becky. It's that, when you can tell by body language, when she's not feeling herself in her own power. There's always some truth. You don't have to lie. It's like, Becky, your feet are so solid. Girl, I know you can stand. I'm looking at the way that you're gripping the earth with your feet. I'm going to try that. There's ways to bring people along, because people certainly bring me along and have all my life. Not just in my work, but especially in my life. So we are constantly feeding each other and encouraging each other. You don't have to say you can do it. That wouldn't help me do it if somebody told me that. But if somebody says, I see you, or even when you work honestly opposite someone and you're acting with them, we're human beings. That person will catch what you're giving them. and they'll take it and they'll give it back to you, and on and on.
Do you feel that you have, at this point in your career, for want of a better term, a leadership role to mentor others, to be the person that comes in and to be the guiding star, to follow what you just said? So that is the experience that you all have.
Well, I've always advocated for my castmates and my crew. It didn't have to do with experience, it had to do with whether people needed protection. And so, you know, John Lewis remains a brother and hero to me, and I just think of him. It's the things that you do, or I do as an artist, are not separate from the things that I do in life. And the things I do in life got demonstrated or modeled for me. Not that they said, look here, watch what I'm doing, but I get that from the people I was around growing up, my parents and my teachers in my community, and then the socially active people that were putting themselves on the line for everybody. So there's no separation. I don't believe in a separation in art, in spirituality, in art, and certainly in communal life, and in what we would call political life, but all life is political just by our presence, and some of us more for our presence. If you don't have to do anything, I'm political. So, you know, I'm a black woman in America.
John Lewis, about 2 years before he died, I did an event similar to this one with him, and he said something to me that I just was fascinated by, saying that when you are right, you become the light, and then that becomes a beacon for others. And I guess that's what I was getting to. That you will look, that people will look to you because you have set a gold standard. And by either osmosis or by following or just knowing that otherwise that won't fly here because you're doing what you're doing the way you're doing it.
Maybe. I don't really think about it because when I talk about protection, it's like, you know, we don't really have enough money, and now there's COVID restrictions and all, but we used to work sometimes 14, 15, 16-hour days. Yeah. And, you know, and if there's no water on a set, it's like, come on. You know, even before I had any sort of, you know, track record or even number of years in the business, I have said, you know, you need to, and no, I don't bitch, I don't, you know, it's just like, we need water, the crew needs water, we need a break, she needs some food. And when other people see you do that, especially if you know, a lot of times the crew can't say anything, really, you know? And so you have to speak up for your crew. And, you know, what are they gonna do to me? Hit me? No, nobody's gonna hit you, or they're not gonna fire you because they already have footage on you. And so you're not being mean, you're just like, and then they go like, oh yeah, water, I'm a dick, I should have thought of that. But like for young people, every actor I've ever worked with, and I'm just thinking of one I did with Fatherhood, Melanie, you know, she's already who she's gonna be. I did Remember the Wedding with Anna Paquin when she was about 12. So as I work with them, and now for the past few years, the last thing I did, I think I was probably 30 years older than the next person down, 35 years, because somebody lied, but I'm not gonna out him. But But then I was like 25 years older than the next person down. So, and when people started calling me Miss Alfre, it was like, don't call me Miss Alfre because that means we're not colleagues.
Right.
And I'm gonna talk to you the way I talk to everybody else. And, you know, age appropriate the way I talk to my children. It's not gonna be sugar-coated. They're an artist, they're there. I don't do that with children or people who are not really artists. And, you know, I know who are my people. And you can be my people at 6 years old. And you're certainly my people at 80. But it's people who surrender to the creative principle in a way that is purposeful.
What is that like to meet your match, if you will, of someone who's so damn good at what they do when you're working opposite them?
I won't take that term, meet your match, because I know what you mean, but sometimes I just get so frigging excited, because sometimes you are like, you know what, there's people that deserve to work together, and they seldom get to be together, because it's a fluke if anybody ever, you know, our business is just, I call it unorganized crime. It's like, you know, it's business. You're bringing something sacred, storytelling, into the most secular arena possible, the meat market. Now we're people who love film, who understand the power of film, who, you know, we support other storytellers, but y'all know it's a business, it's America. If it's not good business, it's not gonna fly anywhere in our culture. But we can't leave it to the turkeys because, oh, look at you, Paul. I'm loving those glasses.
Well,
that gave you some power. Oh, you look handsome.
Oh, thank you.
But, okay, so we're not gonna leave it to the turkeys because it is such a powerful medium. So we gotta be in there still, infiltrating it as much as we can, being effective, and you know, I'm not hating on them at all, but one of the things that I think gives you a free life, is being in a constant state of forgiveness. And everybody's just doing the best they can. And, you know, just trying to be as non-judgmental or acting on your judgment as possible. But, again, I'm lost. It was about, when you really get to do it.
When you're with that person and it's,
you know
like,
what
it's
like?
playing it, right? You're playing, it's
like, and I have just had the good fortune to have that happen to me so many times. Maybe everybody in that storytelling isn't, you know, up to that sort of pace. But as long as there's 2 or 3 there, but a few times I've had the whole cast just Olympians, and it's like when you're running the 440, and every time you don't even have to look back. You lay your hand out there, the baton goes right where it should, and you just like, you could levitate. It is so. A couple of times I have actually taken jobs, one scene jobs, because I wanted to be with that person. That person wanted me to be there with them. And we deserved, because of everything that we have done, not that we have produced, but everything that we've done in terms of honoring the practice, we deserve to be together. And so, yeah, it's like, it is the sweetest spot ever.
when it comes to the actual storytelling, the stories that you choose now, is that what comes first, deciding what story you want to tell?
No, I respond to writing, to the writer's writing.
So.
I can't think of like what I would like to do.
And I assume people obviously have a lot to do with it. The people, the writers, the people who are involved in a process.
It's got to be on the page first.
Okay.
And the page isn't complete by any means, but you can tell, I can tell when something organic connects in me while I'm reading. If I'm reading like I'm reading the Times or the Globe, I had to say that. But if I'm reading it like I'm reading that, and it might even be really good, but just because it's good doesn't mean I need to go to work. I like to go to work when I feel like it's like, something has grabbed me and I thought of something that I feel like somebody else may not think of, then that's when I go to work. If I think somebody else can think of it, there's plenty of good actors that can do that. And again, I'd rather really see a good film than to be in it when I know I'm not bringing something that somebody else couldn't bring.
Wow. So, like, how do you know when you can bring something that no one else can?
You're making me feel too comfortable, and you're going to make me start saying things like that. But I would only say to my friends late at night.
Well, well, by the way, what's wrong with that? but it just, that is, I mean, that's lovely. But how are you confident, centered enough, aware enough to be able to make that determination of, okay, I am the person who can do this?
It's that I kind of base it on what I've seen portrayed before, what I've seen written, and I'm not talking about the mediocre stuff, I'm talking about the good things, but what would have taken it to a level that would have been more specific, more authentic to human beings the way we are. I did a character called Juanita. Oh wait, no, I just said that because that's on my mind.
Or to see
That's one
that,
of my
to see that
favorite movies, obviously. But I did a character called Wanda in a thing called Holiday Heart for Robert Townsend. I did a character just now, it's actually on BET Plus, called Faye for the Porter.
Yeah.
A character, I'm trying to think of them, probably most of them, but those in particular with this example. I feel that when people play, Faye was a sex worker, 1921 in Montreal. Wanda she fancied herself Terry McMillan, but she's just a girl from around the way, you know. But that's what she fancied herself. And so she wrote, you know, she was inspired by Terry McMillan and all. But it was called Holiday Heart. Bing Rames played Holiday. And this was years ago, but I love the fact that he was a drag queen, but he was also the choir leader at the church, very conservative church. And they didn't try to make him beautiful and RuPaul-y. It was like, no, I'm feeling this because I'm a drag queen. I mean, I want to dress up like this, but I am a man doing this. And he saw in what trouble I was. I had a crack addiction. I won't tell you the whole story, but it's really, really good. But I wanted to do Wanda because I thought, she's a writer. She sees herself as a writer. That's who she is. She happens to have a crack problem. But most people go in playing the crack problem. And they play it well. But I hadn't seen that happen. So I said, okay, I see Wanda. I want to do that. With Faye, it was we see a sex worker as however we see her, as a victim and tragic and all, but I thought 1921, Montreal, or anywhere, whether you were drinking out of a porcelain cup or a tin cup, maybe that friendly brothel was a great place to be. You were not under the thumb of your husband, your brother, or your father, your lover. You're in a sorority of women who will, it wasn't, we didn't have people coming in that would harm you. Maybe some of the women came there because they had tough things happen to them in their life, but when they got to us, they had sanctuary. And you had agency in that brothel that women did not have in society there. So I thought that's the brothel that I set up with my other executive producers. So just things like that. I'm always,
that stuff.
no, but I'm always interested in the human being, no matter who it is, because when you think about it, there's billions of us that have been born. Nobody has the same fingerprints. And all of us want to be understood. Everybody says they want to be rich, they want to be powerful. All of us really just want to be understood. And we will never be really understood, so that's what we keep reaching towards each other for. But for the character in a film or a story, the writer, even if it's fictional, it is from the writer's experience. That writer has seen, it's one of the millions of people, millions of images, impressions that come across that writer's life every day. And so that's my job. An actor's job is to honor the fact that somebody gets to have a voice and everybody sits and listens to them. So my job is to make that as specific as possible. Not just, okay, what would Juanita, who does she like? Oh, she likes to dance to Bruno Mars. Well, so do a lot of her friends. Brown woman, 5'5", a woman of a certain age. That's still millions of women. How do you get it down? How do you differentiate me from my closest girlfriends? So that's the job, is you're constantly finding the absolute specificity. And that's what makes a character ceases to become a character and a human being. And that's what we constantly are striving for.
So let's stick with that for a moment, because the story I heard, tell me if it's true, is that you show up on the set of the Porter and you see the brothel and it's ramshackle and you say no. Because that's not where Faye would be.
That's an old tale that a whorehouse would be called. Looks like a trap house. Y'all know what a trap house is? Mm-hmm. Ask somebody that's under 30 what a trap house is. I mean, I won't use time to do that, but it is, like people coming in with their hat on, their coat. It's like, no. First of all, 1921, and it's respectable because it is people with expertise, and they declared this place somewhere where you can come. You can come here and be accepted. Whatever is going on in your personal life, that's something else. But you come into, people think, oh, it's for sex. Well, I won't get too heavy into sex, but you have sex by yourself. And even if you have it with somebody that is really you love or whatever, it's over very quickly. So let's get real. So you're coming for something that you feel you can't let other people in your life know about. And it can be just to sit and pick your fingernails together, do whatever it is. And so you want people to come there. And so that makes people feel comfortable in a place of acceptance. And who wants to crawl into a place? I just thought, no, no, we're not hiding this. Put ivy up, put flowers up, paint this place, put some numbers on the outside, because sex is a reach towards, we think our appetites is the appetite for love, but we take it and we try to, it gets derailed into other things because we're very physical. So somehow, I don't know, I just wanted to see, because I imagine, you know, some people like having sex. It's like, so I'll just, maybe I gotta stop talking about this. So anyway, that was, and it creates a certain energy. There's all kinds of 1921 Saint Antoine in Montreal, and you know, our story is about the porters who ran that line from Montreal down to Chicago, and so many different kinds of storylines are told there. But it is a time bursting forth. Everybody's enterprising, and you know, it's the oldest profession. Why are we going to make it tawdry?
That it is the Porter is a beautiful piece of work. It's a lovely series, and it seems that, and I've heard you say this, is this an example that the work can, when you were being presented the award, obviously they talked about your activism, which is a large part of your life, but that work can be a bridge to action.
It always is, because we tell the people's story. You can't tell the people's story. And the people's story could be something crazy like a horror film, or, you know, Pootie Tang. Anybody see Pootie Tang? It could be anything, but it's like, you know, I always think about people coming home from work or looking for work, and you're just tired. You know, life can be tough for some people. Even if it's just boring, that's tough too. But you come home, you sit in your drawers, and you just turn that television on, or your big screen, some people have that, and you just want to be told a story. So you're going into people's homes at their most intimate moments, and I don't know how you can separate telling stories from the people that receive your stories. What's happening in that home? Who's under somebody's thumb in that home? Who's being abused in that home? Who's hungry in that home? Who doesn't have access? And so otherwise it's just like, you know, sending up balloons in the air. That's not a purpose. There's something that I discovered when I was in high school, when I decided to be an actor. Well, it was long, that's a story in itself. But I did a Lorca play, and I got really into Lorca. This is my first play, well, second play, House of Bernardo Alba, but Lorca, and I keep this like at the top of every script. Every day I look at it. And then I put actually a card in my dressing room. Lorca said the poem, the song, the picture is but water drawn from the well of the people. We give it back to them in a cup of beauty, that in drinking they may come to know themselves. That's the gig. That's the raison d'etre. And I don't really have other skills. I can cook, but the way I pay rent to be among y'all, everybody does it a different way, is storytelling. So I can't, it's impossible to disconnect that from what we call activism, what I call being a neighbor, a natural neighbor, which is what I got from my father's people especially.
Your your father was really the one who always told you, well, why can't you do that? You can do that. And it must have been reassuring, especially in retrospect, to know that you had that voice that said, okay, I can do that.
Well, you know, frankly, when you're young, it was annoying.
Sure.
Because it's like, you're gonna go, you just don't know, Dad.
Well, that's why I said in retrospect.
Yeah. The foundation of my feminism is from my father and not my mother. He never let you have an excuse. You know, babe, come on, toss me that wrench. Come on, get down under here with me. It's like, Daddy, it's dirty. Get your ass down there. Come on, hand me the. I asked for a wrench, not a Phillips screwdriver. It's like, but he'd say, I'd say, oh, you know, I think I'm just going to run for sergeant at arms or treasurer of like school things. And he'd say, why don't you run for president? And I said, because, you know, there are a couple of guys there, you know, the guys are always the president. Maybe I'll just say, what? And he said, well then you're going to have to figure out how to get it from him. I was like, Dad, I said, Daddy, he goes, well, I'm just telling you, you got to figure out how to get what you want all the time. And he used to actually say, the only reason people are master builders is because they say, I'm the master builder. And then everybody say, no, he's the master builder. So whatever you want to do, just declare it. And everybody else say, yeah, that's... If you knew my father's story.
That's true, but if the New York Times says you're the finest actor of the 21st century, that ain't bad either.
Well, it's not, but it also makes you cackle. Because, first of all, you say 21st century is like, okay, it's only been like 20 years since. I'm glad I'm getting in early. But I liken it to, and even things like award, like especially those awards that are subjective. Everybody gets a vote, you know, and in a democracy it should happen, but you know, sometimes it does get us in trouble as a society that everybody gets a say. I think everybody should have to take a civics class, and then they get a vote. And especially if you're going to be in this legislature, state, local, or national, you have to pass a civics test. Okay, that's okay. But
how fucked is our world right now?
Oh my God!
They just gave me a 5-minute cue, so let's go with that. Let's finish there. How fucked are we?
You know what? Sometimes I get down.
Well, that's why I'm asking the question.
You
Some
know,
days it's really hard.
That's not a 5-minute
No,
conversation.
I know.
But the thing is, nobody surrenders here. I'm not from people that surrender. And that's whoever you know, whoever you see or read about in history or whatever, look at somebody that never surrenders. And people that are involved in the struggle, you mount that struggle with joy. They are never people who are like, oh, you know, we're fighting for these rights. They're fighting. If they don't sing and if they aren't joyful, they're not going to win whatever they're struggling for. So that's the thing, is that when some of us get down, you know, the way they're killing, it's on us. It's on us. It's not on the random person that either went off or is so tortured in their hearts. It's not on them, because we like to say, oh, you know, did they have a mental illness? Did they have this? No, they had a gun, like everybody. They got guns. And so I'm not going to get into that, but when we never thought, I'm 60, I'm either 68 or 69, I'm not sure, because I don't really pay attention to it, but we never thought we'd be doing this again. We did this before. This would be our golden years. Now this shit comes out. And so, but, you know, people like John Lewis, Fannie Lou Hamer, all of the people before us, my good friend Dolores Huerta, everybody. We look to them. They never stop. You know what, if you're feeling down, lay down, holler, cry, whatever you're gonna do, and then start saying, we who believe in freedom can't not sit still. And so then you get back up. But you get back up because you know you got truth on your side. Truth is always the victor. It doesn't mean you're gonna experience the things you want in that moment. It means, people in the South used to say, freedom ain't free. You gotta fight for it. And then when you get it, when you think you got it, you gotta protect it every day. Because the people that don't believe in it never sleep. They will never give up. So it's not even a thing you do, and that's what we have to really tell our young, is that it's a life. And it can be a joyous life. Fighting for what is right. And you meet the best people doing it.
This has been a most special, beautiful evening, and on behalf of everyone here and the Berkshire International Film Festival, thank you so very, very much for all you do and for your beautiful work that you share with us. Thank you.
I appreciate it. We have to, this is a longer conversation. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. I just want to say this. I'm so pleased that you accept my work, that you receive my work. Then I have on false eyelashes right now. But I'm you. I'm you. I'm a mom. My husband will tell you, I am hysterical moment to moment. You know, sometimes I'm weeping. Sometimes I'm weeping because I'm so happy. Or whatever. But I just want you to know that there is no line between us or between any of you to each other.
Thank you so much, everybody.